Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana. Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana. Jamuna Tira Vanachari. Jamuna Tira Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Gaur Premanande Hari Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Grantaraj Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita Ki Jai. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Chaya Nityananda. Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gora Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gora Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gora Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna. Today we're reading from Chaitanya Charitamrita, chapter 24, the 61 explanations of the Atmaram verse. On the board we have number 5, so we'll just start reading and then the 5th verse we can read together. Yes. Text number 1. Atmarameti padyakshasi. No. I just read it through. This is verse 1. The ones we read together is Atmarameti padyakshari artam sumya prakashayan Jagatamo yaharyavat sa chaitanya dayo chala. All glories to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who acted as the eastern horizon where the sun of the Atmarambars rose. He manifested its ray in the form of different meanings, and thus eradicated the darkness of the material world. May he protect the universe. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. All glories to Lord Chaitanya, all glories to Lord Nityananda, all glories to Advaita Chandra, and all glories to all the devotees of Lord Chaitanya. Tave Sanatan Prabhura Charanne Dariya Punarapi Kahi Kichu Vinaya Kariya. Thereafter, Sanatana Goswami clasped the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and humbly submitted the following petition. Purve sunyachan tumi sarva bhoumastan eka shloke athara artha kairacha swakyan. Sanatana Goswami said, My Lord, I have heard that previously at the home of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya you explained the Atmaram verse in 18 different ways. Now text 5. Atmaramas cha munayo Atmaramas cha munayo Nirgranta api urukrame Nirgranta apya urukrame Kurvanti ahaitukim bhaktim Kurvanti ahaitukim bhaktim Itam bhuta guno hari Itam bhuta guno hari Atmaramascha munayo Nirgranta apyurukrame Kurvanti ahaitukim bhaktim Itam bhuta guno hari Atmaramascha munayo Nirgranta apyukrame Kurvanti ahaitukim bhaktim Itam bhuta guno hari. Atmaramascha munayo Nirgranta apyurukrame Kurvanti ahaitukim bhaktim Itam bhuta guno hari. Atmaramascha munayo Nirgranta apyurukrame Kurvanti ahaitukim bhaktim Itam bhuta guno harim. Mataji. Atmaramascha munayo Nigranta Apyurukrame Kurvanti ahaitu kim bhaktim Itabhuta guno hari Atmaramascha munayo Nirgranta apyukrame Kurvanti aitu kim bhaktim Hitam bhuta guno hari. Atmarama. Persons who take pleasure in being transcendentally situated in the service of the Lord. Cha. Also. Munaya. Great saintly persons who have completely rejected material acquisitions, fruitive activities, and so forth. Nigrantaha, without interest in any material desire. Api, certainly. Urukrame, unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Krishna, whose activities are wonderful. Kurvanti, do. Ahaitu causeless, or without material desires. Bhaktim, devotional service. Itam bhuta, so wonderful as to attract the attention of the self-satisfied. Guna, who has transcendental qualities. Hari, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Those who are self-satisfied and unattracted by external material desires are also attracted to the loving service of Sri Krishna, whose qualities are transcendental and whose activities are wonderful. Hari, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is called Krishna because he has such transcendentally attractive features. Please repeat after me. Those who are self-satisfied and attracted by external material desires are also attracted to the loving service of Sri Krishna, whose qualities are transcendental and whose activities are wonderful. Hari, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is called Krishna because he has such transcendentally attractive features. Purport is a very small one. This is the famous Atmaram verse from Srimad Bhagavatam 1.7.10. Actually, all the purports are rather short here in the beginning, so I'm going to speak a little and then we continue to read. Atmaramascha munayo nigranta apyukrame kurvanti haitu kim bhaktim itam bhuta guna hari. Those who are self-satisfied and unattracted by external material desires are also attracted to the loving service of Sri Krishna, whose qualities are transcendental and whose activities are wonderful. Hari, the personality of Godhead, is called Krishna because he has such transcendentally attractive features. Om Jnanatimbrandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadayam Dadati Swapatantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagaryatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tvam Sachivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Varijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakantamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Chakatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gorangi Radhe Brindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sutte Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpadrubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Vyevacha Patitanam Pavanevyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. So, Hare Krishna, this verse we just recited together is a very important verse. Even here in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Srila Kaviraj, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is reciting it more than once. As we heard, Srila Prabhupada stated that it's actually a verse from Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, 7th chapter, text number 10. It is the answer of Sutta Goswami to the sages in Naimisharanya. They were actually asking Sutta Goswami that Sukadev Goswami was a self-realized soul, pleased in his self, why he actually took the trouble to study the Bhagavatam. And that was the answer of Sutta Goswami, that even for devotees who are self-satisfied, these transcendental narrations of the Supreme Personality of Godhead are very attractive. And in that way gives great pleasure. And they engage consciously in the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It has been stated that Sukadev Goswami was already self-realized and a liberated soul while being in the womb of his mother. So Vyasadeva, the literally incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, was well aware of this fact, and he actually knew that Sukadev Goswami wouldn't stay at home when he would come out of the womb. So he intentionally impressed the transcendental pastimes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead to Sukadev Goswami. So in order that he will be attracted to the Supreme Personality of Godhead and to the devotional service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So from here we can see Krishna as it is stated in the translation, Krishna is all attractive. So for a liberated soul, it's naturally to be attracted. Unfortunately, our state, the conditional state, we are not naturally attracted to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is due to our conditioning, our dirt which we accumulated on the mirror of our mind while associating with the material nature, with the three modes of material nature. And the process to purify our existence and to remove the dust from the mirror of the mind is very beautifully given in the first verse of Shikshashtakam of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chetadaarpanamarchanam babamaha davagninibhapanam Sreyakairva Chandrika Vitaranam Vidyavadu Jivanam Anandam Buddhivardhanam Pratipadam Putamrita Swadanam Sarvatma Snapanam Param Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam. That all glories to the Sankirtan movement, the chanting of the holy names, and being exposed to the transcendental narrations about the Supreme Personality of Godhead, which are given in Srimad Bhagavatam and Srimad Bhagavad Gita. By taking advantage and associating and hearing these pastimes, we actually will get purified from our conditioning, and that natural attraction which lies in the pure soul will be slowly but surely revived. So these are some of the inconceivable transcendental potencies of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So we continue reading text 6. Ascharya sunyaya mora utkantita mama kripakari kaha jadi judaya shravana. I have heard this wonderful story and am therefore very inquisitive to hear your explanations again. If you would kindly repeat it, I would be very pleased to hear. Prabhu kahe Ami vatula amara vachane sarvabhauma vatula taha satyakarimane. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu replied, I'm one man and Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya is another, and therefore he took my words to be the truth. Kipa pralapilana kichu nahika smarane tomara sangha bale jadi kichu hayamane. I do not recall what I spoke in that connection, but if something comes to my mind due to association with you, I shall explain. Sahache amara kichu artanahi vase Toma sabara sangabale ye kichu prakashe. Generally, by myself, I cannot give an explanation, but by the strength of your association, something may manifest itself. Ekadasha pada shloka sunirmala pritaknama arta pade kare jalamala. There are 11 clear words in this verse, but when they are studied separately, various meanings glitter from each word. Purport. The 11 separate words are 1. Atmarama, 2. Cha, 3. Munaya, 4 Nigranta, 5 Api, 6 Urukrame, 7 Kurvanti, 8 Ahaitukim, 9 Bhaktim, 10 Itam Buddhaguna, and 11 Hari. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will explain the different connotations and imports of these words. Atma sapte brahma deha mana yatta driti buddhi svabhava e satta artha prapti. The 7 different meanings of the word Atma are the absolute truth, the body, the mind, endeavor, firmness, intelligence, and nature. Atmadeha mano brahma svabhav dritti buddhishu pratyatne cha iti. Translation: the following are synonyms of the word Atma: the body, mind, absolute truth, natural characteristics, firmness, intelligence, and endeavor. Purport. This is a quotation from the Visvaprakash dictionary. Ei satta ramne ye sei atmaram gan, atmaram ganera age kariba ganana. The word Atmaram refers to one who enjoys these 7 items, the absolute truth, body, mind, and so on. Later I shall enumerate the Atmaramas. Muni adi saptera arta suna sanatan, pritak arta pache kariba milan. My dear Sanatan, first hear the meanings of the other words, beginning with the word Muni. I shall first explain their separate meanings, then combine them. Muni sapte mananana shila, are kahe mauni tapasvi vratiyati ara rishi muni. The word Muni refers to one who is thoughtful, one who is grave or silent, an ascetic, one who keeps great vows, one in the renounced order, and a saint. There are the different meanings of the word Muni. Nigranta sapte kahe avidya grantihina, vidine shedha veda sastra jananadi vihina. The word Nigranta refers to one who is liberated from the material knots of ignorance. It also refers to one who is devoid of all regulative principles enjoined in the Vedic literature. It also refers to one who does not have knowledge. Murka nicha mlecha adi sastra riktagana, dana suchai nigranta araye nirdana. Rigranta also refers to one who is illiterate, low-born, misbehaved, unregulated, and devoid of respect for the Vedic literature. The word also refers to one who is a capitalist or to one who has no riches. Nirnishchaye niskramarthe nirnimana nishedhayo nigrantadane tha sattarve varna sankratane apicha. The prefix ni may be used for a sense of ascertainment, gradation, construction, or forbidding. The word granta means riches, thesis, and composition. Purport. This is another quotation from Vishwaprakash dictionary. Actually, it's quite interesting and elucid to see the variegatedness and the intricacies of the Sanskrit language. Different words have at times many meanings and seemingly also quite contradictory meanings, like in the case of Nigranta. In this regard, we also can see how transcendental, powerful the language of Sanskrit is. Prabhupada many times quotes or brings that example of Pavarga, like the Sanskrit language. The alphabet is divided into different vargas. So one varga is Pavarga. And Pavarga has got 5 letters. Pa, Ba, Bha, or Pa, Bha, Ba, Ba, Ma. So Pavarga means material existence. And that material existence is actually characterized through these 5 letters. Pa means hard labor. Whoever comes to this material existence, accepts a material body, he has to work very hard in order to maintain himself. Then the second letter is Pa, means foam. When somebody works very hard, he actually foams. Prabhupada used the example, we can see that, like with a horse, when a horse is engaged in work and is very exhausted, foam comes from the mouth. And then Ba means due to the hard work and exhaustions, there is frustration. And then Bha, Bhaya, from that frustration, fear, anxiety actually stems. Like when we're working very hard, we get exhausted, but somehow or other we don't achieve our desired goals, we get frustrated, and we get anxious whether we really will be able to achieve what we want. And then finally, Ma, Mrityu, death. This is the following or the cycle of material existence, Pavarga. So, the human life is actually meant to overcome this Pavarga, this cycle of hard work, exhaustion, frustration, anxiety, and finally death. Apavarga, by following Apavarga Vartmani, in contrary to Mritu Samsara Vartmani. These are the 2 terms which are given in the Vedic Shastras. As it is also stated, Dharmasya hi apavargasya narta artaya upakalpate nartasya dharmekantasya kamalabhaya hi smritya in Srimad Bhagavatam. One of these often quoted verses by Srila Prabhupada in the beginning of the Srimad Bhagavatam 2nd chapter. This means that all occupational activities, dharmasya, yapavargasya, are finally meant for elevation, elevation from pavarga, from the material conditioning. And it's actually not meant in order to accumulate some kind of arthas, meaning some kind of material wealth or material acquisitions. So this is very interesting and very important for a devotee or for a spiritualist who is interested to perfect his human existence, perfect his life, to notice and to follow. These cycles, Prabhupada also states in this connection that apavarga actually means dharma, artha, kama, moksha. That is the process which is alienated or which is rendered in the Vedic scriptures. The process by engaging in dharma, in occupational duties which are prescribed in the Vedic scriptures. One actually steadily progresses on the path of self-realization, means dharma, artha. One gradually comes to the understanding of one's position of not being this, not being a product of the material world, but being a spiritual entity. And in that way, one actually reaches the stage of self-realization, understanding the difference between spirit and matter, and consequently engages in activities of its spiritual nature, which is being engaged in the devotional service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, rather than being engaged in activities to cater for bodily needs. So we carry on reading. Urukrama sapte kahe badayandra krama, krama sapte kahe pada vikshepana. The word ukrama refers to one whose krama, step, is great. The word krama means throwing the foot forward, that is, stepping. Shakti kampa paripan yukti shakti akramana charana kalane kanpatila kanpaila tribhuvana. Krama also means power, trembling, a systematic method, argument, and a forcible attack by stepping forward. Thus, Vamana caused the three worlds to tremble. Purport. Uru means very great, and Krama means step. When Lord Vamandev was offered 3 steps of land, he expanded his 3 steps by covering the entire universe. In this way, the 3 worlds trembled, and therefore Sri Vamandev, the incarnation of Lord Vishnu, is referred as Urukrama. Vishnurnu virya gananam katamo artatika ja pratyevani api katir viname rachamsi chaskam va ya svarahasa kalata triprishtam jasmatri samya sadanad urukampayanam. even if a learned man is able to count all the minute atoms in this material world, he still can not count the potency of Lord Vishnu. In the form of the Vaman incarnation, Lord Vishnu without hindrance captured all the planets, extending from the root of the material world up to Satyaloka. Indeed, he caused every planetary system to tremble by the force of his steps. Purport. This is a quotation from Srimad Bhagavatam, 2nd Canto, 7th Chapter, Text 40. In the Rig Veda mantras 1 to 155.1, it is said, Om Vishnu Nu Viryanikam Prabhavacham Japarti Divani Vimane Rachamsi Yo Skambhayat Uttaram Sadhastam Vikakramanas Tradoru Gaya. The meaning of this verse is practically identical to that of the verse from Srimad Bhagavatam quoted above. So, this is a very important statement which is given here. Prabhupada also used that, especially in connection to science and the scientists. He makes the point that even if the scientists at one time will be able to count all the different atoms in a material universe, and he makes the point that anyway it never will be possible. But even then, if they would, they wouldn't be able to understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead, meaning to understand its energies, its qualities, its activities. This is actually very, very significant and important to know for us devotees. There is no intellectual capacity, or rather to say, it's not possible to understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead through our senses, gross and evil subtle senses. The mind is counted as the sixth sense because it's the master sense which actually directs all the other different senses through which we gather knowledge from this material world. So the point is, that is the wrong direction. If we try to gather knowledge using our intellect, using our senses, we actually never will be able to understand or even approach the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Because the Supreme Personality of Godhead is unlimited and inconceivable. He has inconceivable qualities and inconceivable energies which are not accessible or understandable by the blunt material senses as well as the blunt material mind. This has also been described in Brahma Samhita very beautifully. So what is then the way to approach the Supreme Personality of Godhead? That has been described by Lord Brahma, the first living entity in this material universe. Premanjana churita bhakti vilochanena santa sadaiva hidayo shivilokayanti yam shyamaram sun yam shamana shyama sundara achinta guna swarupam Govinda Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. So Achintya Guna Swarupam, he has a form which is Achintya, Achintya Guna, endowed with transcendental, inconceivable qualities, Achintya. So it is only to be approached to loving devotion, Priyanjana Churita. Prema, if our vision and our activities are anointed by pure love of Godhead, then due to the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, we will be empowered to perceive the spiritual reality, meaning to understand the spiritual qualities, to understand that which is actually not understandable. So, this is a very important instruction which is given in the scriptures. Also, we will see that while we carry on following the instruction and liberations of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu on this Atmaram verse, he actually will also come to that conclusion. What actually is the attractive feature and what actually will be enable the living entity to understand the Supreme Personality in his true identity. It starts actually, as it also is being delineated in the Shastras, that the absolute truth is perceived in three different ways. First is through his Brahman effulsions, the impersonal aspect of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, which is actually permeating all the material and spiritual universes. Then the second aspect is his localized position or existence in each and every living entity as the Paramatma. But the highest understanding is the understanding or the realization of the Supreme Personality of God as in his full glories, as the Absolute Personality, Krishna, which is all attractive, which has qualities and characteristics which are attractive to everyone. And the explanation in Shastra has been given that that personality there has 6 different aspects, or attractiveness has 6 different aspects which are given in the Vedic scriptures as Ashwaryasya, Samagrasya, Viryasya, Chasaha, Shriha, Jnana Vairagyascha, Sanam Bhaga iti Gana, means wealth, Ashwaryasya, wealth. Wealth is very attractive. Then Shri, Viryasya, strength, power is another characteristics. Then fame. Then Shriya, Jasa. Then Shriya, beauty. Jnana, knowledge. And renunciation. So these are the 6 characteristics which are very attractive. And one who actually is endowed to the full extent with these characteristics, he is actually Bhagavan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Prabhupada makes the point many times that there are many powerful living entities in this material world who are endowed with a certain part. They may be very wealthy, they may be very beautiful, very knowledgeable, very renounced. But none of them actually can claim that he owns all riches, or he is the most beautiful, the most scholarly, or the most renowned person. That only can be the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Should we carry on, or how long the class goes? 8:30? 8:30. Okay. So thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Any comments? Any questions? Very good. Everything clear. Hare Krishna. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, Grantaraj Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai, Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Gaur Premanande.
Du hast vom 1. bis 21. Artikel.
Du bist in dieser Gruppe drin? Ja, nein, es ist ein Vorschlag. Nein, das ist nicht direkt die Nummer. Ja, ich kann nur die Nummer. Du hast keine Nummer. Nein, das ist wieder was? Nein, das ist eine alte Nummer. Aber das ist, du hast mir